Hello, my name is Olanira John. Welcome to the part 2 of Adobe Illustrator Interface video. Okay, so now we are back to Illustrator, and this is what you are going to have. This is what, and I believe that is what you have on your screen exactly right now. Okay, so this is how the interface of Adobe Illustrator is going to look like in the inside. Do you get my point now? So we have different categories in this illustrator, and I'm going to explain everything one after the other. Okay, so now the first part you have to take notes here is your main menu bar, this area. Okay, can you see this area where you have file, edit, object type, select, effect, view, window, help? Okay, to this part is your main menu bar. And what are so that's exactly your what? Your main menu bar. Remember, file, edit, object, type, select, effects, view, window, help. Okay, including this area is your main menu bar. Okay, so now when you move down, you are going to see these layers also. Okay, this place is actually known as your control bar. This area is actually known as your what? Your control bar. Your what? Your control bar. Okay, so now when you move to this part, when you move to this part, can you see? Can you see my cursor now? When you move to this part, this area is actually called your tool bar. Your tool what? Bar. Remember, this area is called your menu bar. This area is called your control what? Control bar. So why this area now is called what? Menu. Oh, sorry, toolbar. Okay, take note of that or take note of that. This is your menu bar, this is your control bar, and this is your what? Your menu bar. So now when you move to this side, when you move to this side, this area is actually called your panel. Okay, this area, everything here is actually called your what? Your panel. Okay, this one, these two white things you are seeing here is being called artboard. Okay, it's being called what? Artboard. So these two white stuff you are seeing here is being called artboard. Okay, in other software, in other design software, they call it design canvas. Okay, they call it design canvas. Okay, but in Illustrator we call it artboard. Artboard. So the other areas there, you can just refer to it as pasteboard. Okay, like maybe you're copying anything that you know you want to use in your design, and you need to paste it outside your artboard. This artboard, I'm still going to explain everything one after the other. Okay, so assuming you're copying anything you want to use on design and you need to place it somewhere first, this is the areas for it. Okay, good. So now let's start explaining everything one after the other. We are going back to our menu bar, our main menu bar. Okay, under the main menu bar, what are those things that you can actually do with the main menu bar? The first thing is file. And what are those things you can do with file? You can create a new document. Okay, you can create a new what? A new document. And you can also open documents. Okay, you can also do what? You can also open document. So if I click on create a new document, can you see where it takes me to now? Good. So if I click on new from template, if I click on new from template, you see now it actually takes me back to the what? To the directories on my PC. So if I have any design template, any Adobe Illustrator design template, I can easily open it from this what? From this place. All I have to do is to go to the location. You get my point now? So I'll click on cancel. Okay, so now The next thing we have is open. Open works exactly like the new from templates. Okay, but the only difference is the word templates. Okay, you know that template means pre-designed what design, that all you just have to do is to edit. So if you have any design that has been done in Adobe Illustrator and you just want to edit one or two things there, it's been referred to as template. Okay, why open is the same thing. You can actually take it to open what an Illustrator um stuff. Okay, for example, now this is the curriculum for this class now. So if I click on it, open. Can you see now? So can you see now? Let's allow it to load. Let's allow it to load. So can you see now? So I'm showing you everything in a very practical way so that you can get the concept. So I've actually made this our course outline in Adobe Illustrator. So when I click on open, all I just do is to locate the file area, then I select it. So now we are not going to that. So cancel now. Do you get my point now? So that is how open and what and new templates work. Can you see now? Good. So the next thing is open recent file. These are all the recent file that I've actually worked on, okay, in Illustrator. These are all my recent what files. So if I click on any of these also, can you see this curriculum now is the one I opened earlier now. So if I click on it again, it's going to open for me. So if I click the same way I click on curriculum and it opens, the same way others are going to do what? Others are going to open also. Do you get my point now? Good. So we have close, that is if you want to close your Adobe Illustrator. Then we have save. Okay, if I want to save this folder now, so if I click on save, can you see now? So I cannot choose any directories I want to save it on my PC. Do you get my point now? So I'll just click on social media flyer, Adobe Illustrator, then design course, then I'll click on save. Okay, so it's going to ask you some few questions. Always leave it at the fashion you have it. You get my point now? So you click on OK. Okay, you click on OK. That's all. So it will save automatically now to that directories now. Do you get my point? Good. So now we have save as. Save as work exactly like save, but the only difference is that it gives you access to change the option of saving the file. Remember, when I actually save this my social media flyer, I save it as Adobe Illustrator. Okay, that's the save type. I save it as Adobe Illustrator file. Do you get my point now? But I can easily change it to any other format like Adobe PDF, okay, like Adobe ESP, like Adobe Templates, SVG, and SVG Compress. Do you get my point now? So I can easily change it to any of these folder, to any of these file type. Do you get my point now? So good. So save a copy also work exactly like save as. Okay, it also work exactly like save as. So we have an option to export our files. We have an option to export our file. When we start working with real projects, then I will explain more on this export. Okay, so we have the document setup area. We have the document setup area. So sorry for that. So this is our document setup area now. Let's assume we want to make some changes to it now. We can easily come to document setup area. So you can change your unit. Remember, I show you we actually make use of pixel when we are actually creating this artboard. So you can change the unit from pixel to either feet, pickers, points, and so on and so forth. Do you get it now? Good. So you can also add a bleed area. Okay, you can also add a bleed area. Then you can show images in outline mode. You get my point now? So these are some of the things you can do with your document setup area. So we click on cancel. Don't forget, we are still discussing about our main menu bar, and the only one we are still talking about right now is file. Okay, so we have document color mode. So now remember, we select RGB color mode. So but you can easily change it to CYMK here also. If you don't feel like using RGB color mode again, you can easily change it to CMY what K. Good. So these are the this area is meant for you to show the info of this your folder. Then print. If you want to print, then if you click on print, it give you options to actually select your print preset. Okay, so when we get to how to actually export your file for print, I will explain more on this. So click on cancel. Now that's everything, and if you want to exit your illustrator, can you see now? Good. So that is all about file. Edit. Edit give you options to actually edit some stuff in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, like your color settings, your keyboard shortcuts, okay, your my PC my settings, that is your export and import settings. Then your preference also. Okay, your preference also. There are some times that we are going to need some of these things and we are going to go over to it again. Do you get it now? Good. So we have paste, we have paste in front, we have paste at back. Can you see now? So these are some of the options we have here. Okay, good. So we have objects. You will see that some of these things are not active. Some of these things are not active yet. And the reason why they are not active yet is because we don't have any object yet. Okay, what do we mean by the word object? Anything you create, anything you create or design in Illustrator is actually refers to as objects. Okay, anything, any shape, anything you will import to Illustrator, we do refers it as what? As objects. You get my point now? So this object area in this menu bar now give you options to actually do some little adjustment to it. You get it now? It actually give you options to actually do some little adjustment to it. Okay, so we have our type. This one works with text. It work with text. Okay, it work with what? With text. So it give you options to actually do some editing to text. Okay, so now we have select. Can you see some of these things are not active yet? Okay, can you see? Good. So we have effect. Okay, effect. Just like other design softwares, there are some custom effects you can do directly from Illustrator. Okay, that is, you can have your 3D shape. Okay, you can have your 3D shape. You can convert maybe an element to shape. Okay, like a text element now, you can easily convert it to shape. We have our crop mark, we have distort and transform. Okay, we have path, we have point finder, we have rasterize, we have sterilize, we have SVG filters, and we have wrap. Okay, these are some of the effects we have in Illustrator, and we'll be using some of these in this course of this program, okay, or this training rather. So now there is also an option for you to use some of Photoshop effects in Illustrator. Do you get my point now? So any effect you are seeing here, they are actually Photoshop effects, but because they still belongs to the same Adobe suite, you have an option to use it here. Okay, so the same way you can do this, in the same way you can also do it on Photoshop directly. Okay, on Photoshop also we still have some of this Illustrator effect that is active there also. Same way Photoshop, some of Photoshop, not all, but all these one you are seeing here, They work exactly the way they are going to work on what? On Photoshop. Do you get my point now? Do you get my point now? So we have file, so we can preview our file. We can change everything to outline. Okay, we can change everything to outline. So now, what does this outline does is that when you have a normal shape, okay, when you have a normal shape like this, and I come to this view and change it to outline, you will see what will happen. Can you see? Can you see what actually happens now? Good. So the reason for this is that it's not showing all the other elements we have there. It's going to change everything to outline. Okay, it's going to change everything to something like this. So, and this one is actually helpful when you want to know some of your element that is outside the box. Okay, this is your artboard, right? So you will see that anything here, can you see? I can easily see it. Okay, so I know that this one now is not what is not inside my heart, but so now we can easily change it back. We can easily change it back to our GPU preview. You get it now? Good. So GPU preview is going to show you everything in your right state. Good. So I'll delete this now. We're not working with this yet. Okay. So, and these are some of the other options we have under views. Okay. So now other windows. This give you an extension to everything you are going to need. This give you an extension to everything you are going to need in what? In Adobe Illustrator. So anything that is not outside there and you are going to need it, you can easily get them from window. Okay, you can easily get them from window. Now, if you come to this area, you are seeing my name here, right? Johnny. Okay, it's because I've actually customized my workspace. I've actually customized my workspace to what works for me. Okay, but right now, these are the options you are going to have in your own Adobe Illustrator now. You are going to have these other options except my name. So for the sake of this class now, I'm going to change it from this. Okay, I want to show you so that you will know the difference later. Do you get my point now? This is my own customized workspace. Okay, just like the way you can customize the wallpaper on your screen to what suits your need. The same way you can also customize everything you have on Adobe Illustrator to suit what you will need it for. But in your own case now, since you don't have a customized workspace, you are going to have something like this. Leave it to essential. Okay, you can leave it to essential, or you can leave it to essential and classic. Okay, do you get my point now? So these are the options available to you. Okay, essential and classic, layout, painting, printing and proving, tracing, typography, web. And why do we have different workspace? That's the reason. I know that's the question on your mind now. Why do we have different workspace? Okay, the reason why we have different workspace is that a lot of people use what? Adobe Illustrator for different needs. Okay, for example, you can do a painting project in Adobe Illustrator, and you will know that painting is different from logo design, right? Good. Cartoon character, you can make cartoon character in Illustrator, but you know that cartoon character is different from social media flyer, right? Good. So it means that this layout make it easy for different use cases of Illustrator. So if I'm the one that is working on characters like illustrations, like cartoon character and so on and so forth, I don't need to use Essential and Essential Classic. All I have to do is to come to painting. Okay, and you will see what happens. You will see that this one, there's the whole interface actually change. So this one now suits the need of a what, or of a cartoon character artist. Do you get my point now? So, and even before the advent of our new tools now called Figma that they use for UI design, you can easily make your website landing page in Illustrator before. Okay, now for the introduction of new softwares now, it make it easy to do those stuff there. But as a website designer now, what I will need is this workspace. Do you get my point now? What I will need is this workspace. So that's the reason why we have different workspace in what, in Illustrator. Okay, in Illustrator, because we have a lot of people using what, using this Illustrator. But now, for the sake of this course, we are using Illustrator as a graphic designer. Okay, and what do we do as a graphic designer? We make logos, social media flyer design, and so on and so forth. So for the sake of this class, you are going to leave it as, we also have layout. Okay, we also have layout. So for the sake of this class and for easy customization of your own also, you are going to leave it as either essential and classic or layout. But I actually preferred layout, and that's what I will ask you to what, to prefer also. Okay, I prefer layout for easy customization. Okay, so now, irrespective of the workspace you choose, and that's one thing I want you to take note. Irrespective of the workspace you choose, everything still remain intact. This still remain your what, your main menu bar. Dis area still remain your what, your control bar. Okay, dis area still remain your tools bar, and dis area still remain your what, your panel. Okay, e still remain your panel. You can expand and you can leave it like this. Okay, dis area still what, remains your panel. You get my point now? Dis area still remain your hardboard, and dis whole area also still remain your paste board. Do you get it now? Good. So we are done with the main menu bar. Now we have the control bar. Okay, so we won't be able to use some of this control bar right here because we don't have any object. So when you have objects, what does the word control means to you? It means you are controlling something, right? Good. So same thing applicable to your control bar here also. If you have any object in this your canvas now, artboard, you can easily control it from this area. Okay, let me just do a few example. Can you see I have this shape now, so I can easily change the color here. So it means I'm controlling it, right? Good. This one is the stroke area. I can change it to black. I can change this one. I can decide to give it 20. You get my point now? So can you see, and so on and so forth. I can make use of this my alignment tool here. Okay, can you see? So it means I'm actually controlling what things I have here, and I can click on transform. I can click on transform. Okay, so we are still going back to all this. Okay, so now remember, I'm just explaining the interface of what, of Adobe Illustrator. So that is how your control bar actually works. Now this is your toolbar. This is your toolbar. This is your toolbar area, and everything you will be working on in Illustrator, you are going to need this toolbar very well. Okay, just like the way if a mechanic actually want to work on a car. Okay, if a mechanic actually want to repair a car, what does he need? He needs spanner and so on and so forth. So as a graphic designer now working on a project in Illustrator, you need your tools bar. Okay, this is like your own cutlass as a farmer. This is like your own hoe as a farmer. Do you get my point now? So you are a farmer in Adobe Illustrator, and these are your tools bar. So I like to make my class interesting and fun also, so that you can get the concept. Okay, the main focus is for me to remember this is a beginner friendly course, so I'm going to simplify everything. Okay, I'm going to simplify everything here. So this is your toolbar, and what are those things we actually can use in this your toolbar? I will start pointing to it one after the other. One, we have our selection tool. What's the function of a selection tool? Selection tool is made to select something. Okay, let's assume we have this here now. Okay, the function of a selection tool is for me to select this and move it to any of this area. Okay, it helps me to change position of stuff that I have there. Do you get my point now? Can you see now? So good. That's how your selection tools actually works. Now here we have direct selection tool. There is a difference between selection tool and direct selection tool. And what's the difference? Direct selection tools give you an option to do some a little more editing to your objects that you actually select. Okay, we are going back to how you can actually do this when you will get to how to work with shape in Illustrator. Okay, so can you see now? Good. That's how your direct selection tools actually works. So the next thing, we have your pen tool. Pen tool is used to create an anchor point. Okay, and with the help of an anchor point, you can easily create shapes. Okay, don't worry, we are going fully into how to create shapes in Illustrator. So here we have our conversion tools, is used for shape also. We have our normal shape tool. This rectangle tool is also your shape tools. And take note of something, anywhere you have this drop down icon, it means e still have some other options there. Do you get my point now? Anywhere you see this drop down icon, can you see this small thing that looks like a small rectangle here, that looks like a small right angle triangle here? Okay, it means there are still other options under it. So when you click on this, now, and for you to select it, you are going to right click. Okay, you right click, so it means we still have this, can you see? can you see can you see? So now this is your rectangle tool. Okay, rectangle tool basically represent your shape tool, and with the help of this you can easily create some simple custom shape here in Illustrator. Do you get my point now? You can easily create some little custom shape here in Illustrator. So we have our brush, we have our block brush, we have our pencil tool, we have our paint brush, we have this our type tool. Okay, this our type tool. If you want to type anything, if you did not click on type tool, you won't be able to type anything. Do you get my point now? I told you earlier that this toolbar is like a cutlass for you as a farmer. So if you want to clear a bush, you need what? You need cutlass. If you want to make hips, you need hoe, right? Good. So same way, if you want to include text in your design, you need to click on type. Okay, now we still have some other options to this type, and we are going there fully. So we have this our rotate tools, scale tool, reflect tool, then share tools. Okay, don't worry, I'm still going to see some of the use cases of this. Then we have our eraser tool and scissors tool. Okay, so we also have our shape builder. Too. Okay, dis shape builders help you to combine, it help you to subtract shape. Okay, don't worry, we are still going there fully. We have our gradient, then we have our eyedropper tool. Okay, the function of dis eyedropper tool is to eyedrop colour, for you. Okay, for example, I have, can you see the fill is actually yellow? Okay, and the stroke is what? Is black. But with the help of this my eyedropper tool, I can easily click on this. Can you see now? it means I select this color. If I click on this white, it's going to change. And if you have any other color here and I use my eyedropper tools to eyedrop it, it's going to change also. Okay, so we also have our width tool. We also have our width tool. Okay, and we also have our blend tool. We have our artboard tool. Remember I told you that this white canvas is called what? This area is called artboard. So and with the help of this artboard tools, you can easily change the size of your artboard. Okay, so remember what we have initially is 800 pixel in width by what? 800 pixel in what? In height. I can decide to change the height to 1200 pixel. So see what we happen now. Can you see? Can you see? Good. So this this artboard is actually useful. Okay, is useful because at times you want to create a flyer and maybe a social media design for the same brand, and you know that social media flyer size is different from a normal print flyer size. You get my point? And you still want to work with the same project on one Illustrator or folder page like this. What you have to do is to use your artboard artboard tools now to customize this to the size of a flyer. Then you will leave this to the size of a social media what design. Do you get it now? Good. So let's take it back to the original state. So can you see now? That is how your artboard tools actually do what actually works. Okay, so now we have this zoom tool also, and I believe you know how zoom tools actually works. Okay, can you see now? Okay, so we have okay, so and you can also use to take it back to the original state. You can just press Ctrl 1. Oh, sorry. Okay. So now I'm going to click on my select tool now, so I can easily what take it back to the original state. Okay. So and the shortcut for your zoom icon here. Okay, the shortcut is control plus means zoom in. Okay, can you see? So and control plus minus, control and minus. I believe you know where minus is actually located on your keyboard, right? Good. So control and minus we actually zoom out. Why this what we zoom in. Can you see now? Good. So now this area, that's how it works, and this area is meant for you to edit some color. It works like the color changing area here in the control bar. So the last part now is our panel. Okay, this panel give you the full access to edit anything you have here. Okay, this panel area, it give you full access to edit anything you have here. Do you get my point now? Do you get my point now? So anything, either your text, either your shape, okay, either your text, either your shape, any objects you have here, this panel area give you access to what? To customize it, to edit it. And what are those things that are actually common here in this panel area? Let's expand it. You have our assets export. We have our asset export. We have link. We embedded some link here. Okay, we have our hardboard. Okay, with this now you can actually rename your hardboard. Okay, you know what we have now is hardboard 1 and hardboard 2. Okay, with this now, with these two, you can actually rename your hardboard to be what? So it should be SM Flyer 1. Okay, you can still use SM Flyer 1, and this one to what? SM Flyer what? 2. Can you see now? Can you see now? Good. So, and we have our character panel here. Remember I said these are actually panel what areas. So we have character panel, and it give you the full access to what to do anything you have to do with your type. Do you get my point now? So this is still under, can you see? Can you see? So now this is your properties area, property panel. It give you access. We have our transform to there. We have our line. We have our stroke. Okay, can you see? Can you see now? So good. When we have some object here, you will see how this thing actually works. We have our paragraph. Okay, so I've shown you the properties panel area. Can you see our alignment area? Then we have this. We have color. We have our gradient area to work with color. So if you are working with color, it means we are dealing with this panel area now. Do you get my point now? If we want to do anything with color, see, this thing is actually simple. You just have to pay attention to what I'm doing. I told you that this area are called what? Panels area. Okay, they are called panels area. So what you have here will determine what you are going to be working on in this area. If we have our type here, okay, that is our text, it means we are going to work with this area. If we have shape, it means we are going to work with this properties what area. And if we want to do anything with color, it means we are going to work with this what? This area. Do you get my point now? So this your artboard. This your artboard now. Anything you are doing in Illustrator, make sure they are not exceeding this artboard area because of when you are going to export it. Do you get my point now? So this artboard area now give you area for you to work. So anything outside this is not going to export as part of the project. So anything that is outside the project, you can easily make use of this your paste board for it. But make sure that everything that has to do with your project is what you have in this your artboard what area. Is what you have in this your artboard area. Do you get it now? Good. So this is the full video for Adobe Illustrator what interface. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to customize your workspace. So see you in the next video.